Grand Rising, everybody. Welcome to another Ed Talks Daily Personal Growth and Motivation Podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about planning and organizing your life. Hey, what am I talking about? What does it mean to plan and organize your life? This is about making sure that you're not just going and drifting through life, that you have a specific destination. If you tapped into the last podcast, I talked about the power of purpose, right? I talked about the power of living purposefully and making sure that you are intentionally living your life and not just going through the motions, okay? Grand rising, powerful beings. Welcome back. So let's keep tapping in if you want to learn how to organize and plan. If you don't have plans, then it's hard to organize those plans to make them happen. So what happens is you start doing random stuff throughout the day. So keep tapping in with me here if you want to get some more. Let's go. So, planning and organizing your life. What is that all about? If you don't have plans, then it's hard to organize those plans so you can make them happen. If you don't have a specific things that you want to do, it's hard to even have plans. Which means the starting point of plans is goals. The starting plan of goals is vision. You heard that? What starts a plan is a goal. What starts a goal is a vision. What creates a vision is a purpose. Why you have a purpose is because you are what you are, a being here. So as a creator, your purpose should give you a vision, and that vision should empower you to have goals, and those goals should create plans which you will carry out with your actions. So if you know that, I have a purpose in life, then if you have a purpose in life, you best take that purpose and put it into a vision of what you want to create with the purpose. Now that you have a vision, best take that vision and turn it into a plan. Because now you have a plan on how to carry out your vision. And now as you have a plan, best you take that plan and organize it so you can have time to do it every single day. So as you continue to tap in here with me, this is what I'm going to be talking about. Organizing your plans. So keep tapping in with me here. And if you've never heard this podcast, this is Ed Talks Daily, which is a personal growth and motivation podcast, which is available for you to tap in on your favorite platform, which is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or go to edtalksdaily.com and chime in. So now, I'm going to be talking about planning and organizing your life. Now, this episode is for people who have trouble organizing themselves. And by that, I mean, you want to get things done, but you've been procrastinating through a lot of things and you haven't gotten them done. So I'm going to talk to you about planning and organizing. So first, let's start with purpose. Remember I said you got to have a purpose to have a vision, to have goals, to have plans, and then active steps to carry out those plans. So let me ask you a question. What is your vision? First, what is your vision? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Okay? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? And not just where do you see yourself doing or having, how do you see yourself being? What type of person are you in the next 3 years? What type of person are you in the next 5 years? And how are you impacting your life, your family's life, and other people's life within that time period? Very important question to ask. Not so you feel bad about yourself. Nah, we don't do that. And also, you're not asking yourself this so you could feel bad about anything. You asking this question because you want to know if I'm going to go somewhere, if I need to have a destination so I could know what routes to take. So every day I'm not just scattering. I'm not just walking the land and not doing much to get there. Now, here's what I'm telling you. The destination is not the destination for your life. The destination is just somewhere you're going so that way you can enjoy, have a journey. Now, you're not going there as the end, you're going there because it's a place that you can reach with your ultimate potential. So you say, hey, you know what? How about I invest my life to reach different objectives, so throughout my life, I can leave stuff here on this planet. So your destination per se is not somewhere you're going, it's somewhere you're growing to create in this world. So where do you want to go? Which means, what do you see? Let's just simplify this. Basic, simple. Where do you want to grow to? What type of life do you envision, and how do you envision on impacting other people with that life? Okay? So somebody says, you know what, I'm not too sure, Ed. You know, I'm not too sure where I'm going. All I know is I want to be happy, healthy, and free. Okay, well, that is a good one. So let's say you don't even have a specific business idea, or you don't know how to impact somebody yet. You don't really know what to do yet. Start with yourself. So planning and organizing your life is not just planning and organizing your business, planning and organizing your goals. You're planning and organizing your life. I want you to hear that. This means you're not creating a business, you're creating a life. So we're going to start this episode not necessarily the top 10 productivity tips. We're talking about planning and organizing your life. So what does that start with? Having a vision on how your life is going to look like, because you know of your purpose, and then having goals. So now think about your life. What are the components of your life? The components of your life includes the places that you go, the people that you interact with, the likes and dislikes, the association, the culture. This is your life. So planning your life is this. It's planning a way of living. Planning your life is not just saying how am I going to grow. Planning your life is saying how am I going to enjoy. Planning your life is saying how am I going to work on myself. Planning your life is how am I going to transform my habits. Planning your life is how am I going to... A plan for your life is not necessarily just, okay, I got to get a home, I got to get my finances in order. All of these things are part of it, but we're talking about little habits and routines that make a big difference. Okay? It's just little habits and routines that make a big difference. So somebody says, how do I do that? Planning for your life starts with a schedule. Planning with your life starts with a planner. A planner meaning a journal. So it starts the process of planning for your life. So you get a journal, and the first thing you want to do is set an intention for your day. So once you have an intention for your day, what that's going to do is going to help you dictate where you're going to put your attention towards. So without a proper intention of where you want to go each day, you're not necessarily planning your life. Somebody says, well, how do I even have an intention if I have the same things that I do every day? The reason why you're doing the same thing every day is because you're only giving attention to what you must do, and you're not intentionally creating what you want to do. So creating a life is not going through the motions. Creating a life is moving to create. This is intention. There's a difference. This is what we do when we go to work, and we've always went there. We just go. When we go to work on ourselves, we say we're going to work on this today. So let's say you haven't even gotten to saying I'm going to start a business or do anything. You're just in a space right now where you want your life to be in order. Before you get your business in order, you got to get your life in order. So planning and organizing for your life starts with a journal, I said. Starts with an intention. So before you even exit and stop listening to this podcast, I want you to think of an intention out of this self-development. How do you plan on planning for your life today? So today, what can an intention be? My intention today is to focus on this one thing that will allow me to tell people more about Rising Prime. So this is a funnel that I'm creating. My intention today is also to be attentive to the people I love and care about by making sure I call them and hanging out with some of them today. My intention today is also to ensure that I have breaks throughout the day so that I'm not just moving without taking a break. So first thing I'm doing is I'm actively, guessing what? Putting that in my journal right here. So as I write down my intentions, what that's doing for me is my brain is now going to remind me throughout the day what I set out to do. So without a sail being set, it's hard to go through the destination. We stayed anchored up at the shore and we never get nowhere. So what I'm telling you to do is the first thing you want to do before you start your day is to figure out what your intention is to do with the day. How do you plan on investing your day? How do you plan on investing in your day to day? So ask yourself, what is my intention today? What is my intention today? All right. Now, after you ask yourself, what is your intention today? You can ask yourself, what are some action steps that if I took today would fulfill those intentions? What are the action steps that if I took today would fulfill those intentions? So let your intention lead to action and not contemplation. So a lot of us, we start to have an intention, then we contemplate on it. We don't have a list to act upon. So planning and organizing starts with having not just what you want to do it or why you want to do it, but it's also having what exactly you're going to do. And then actually going out and doing it. This is Action November. Action November means we're not contemplating. You're acting. All right. So now, what's a major thing that in your life that you said, I'm going to accomplish this before the year's over? What is a major thing in your life that you said you was going to accomplish before the year's over, but you didn't quite get it done? And as we have about this is 10, 11, 12, 2 months left in the year, how are you going to be so intentional and deliberate to make sure that those things happen? How are you going to start to let go of the fact that you didn't do them and build the habit patterns that you're going to actually start to do them? And why is it important to you that this must happen no matter what? Why is it important to you? Somebody want to know, like, yo, what do you mean? Why it got to be important? Listen, unless this is important for you, it's not going to happen. Unless you make a decision that, yo, this goal that I had to start working out consistently, this goal that I had to be a vegetarian, this goal that I have to be a vegan, listen, I am actually living up to it and I'm not letting it fall by the wayside. You have to make a determined and deliberate effort that you are going to accomplish what you said you were going to do before the year is over. And unless you plan and organize your life, this is not going to happen. So planning and organizing your life does not just start with journaling and having an intention and then putting dedicated action, but it's about having a specific schedule and routine that you can live by. A schedule and routine, what does that do? That allows you to take the action steps and put them in a time category format. Now, what happens when you usually set a to-do list and you try to go down the to-do list, check one by one? A lot of times you go by the end of the day and you looked at your to-do list and guess what? Nothing got done. And you go home and you feel bad about it. So what happens? Next time you try to do it, nothing gets done again. So what our to-do list becomes, it becomes a to beat myself up list. So what we do is all the things you didn't do, you should have done, you could have done, you start hitting yourself up in the head with them. And somebody want to know, yo, what does that do? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Hitting yourself in the head does not allow you to accomplish anything. All it does is it gives you the pseudo feeling of accomplishment. What is the pseudo feeling of accomplishment? The pseudo feeling of accomplishment is, you know what? At least I'm thinking about doing it, so that guilt replaces my action. So the reason why we work so hard in talking about releasing guilt and shame and blame the past week or so is because that is the first thing that is going to transform everything the moment you release the guilt you've been holding on. So now you're talking about, Ed, I need specifics. I need to get my schedule in order. What can I do? What is a strategy that I can use? Now, you won't be able to see this because I show this to the tribe. I show them this because they get the Zoom meeting. This is not a podcast for them. So they get to see how it looks like. But I will explain it to you, right? And if you want to join the tribe, go to holisticlifestyletribe.com. Here it is. It's a T-chart, right? The T-chart has scheduled and it has actual. So you want to know, why do you do that in your journal? Okay, why would I want to have a T-chart that says scheduled and then actual? Here's why. A lot of times we're not accomplishing what we said we're going to accomplish. The goal turnover rate is much higher than the goal completion rate. Hear me out. I know I have a lot of terms and words, but if you just, they all make sense. How many of your goals turn over at the end of the week? How many of your objective turns over at the end of the week? Or do you even know that's happening? What is a turnover rate? A turnover rate is this. I said that I'm going to do 6 activities, but I only do 3. What's my completion rate and what's my turnover rate? Your completion rate is the amount that you completed. So I did 3 out of 6. That means you completed what? Half. Your completion rate is 50%. Every week you want to see, every day, see what you said you were going to do versus what you actually do. That's going to be your completion rate. Now, when you subtract the bottom number, the top number from the bottom number, you have what's remaining. So now that's 3 out of 5 you did, or 3 out of 6 you did. That means you didn't do 3 out of 6. If you did 4 out of 6, that means you didn't do 2 out of 6. So now every week that your turnover rate is the same, it means that every week you're not completing, or you're not going back and looking to see what you left off. But what if you did this? What if every time you scheduled 5 major things you wanted to do in the day, or 5 major things you wanted to do in the week, you went back and checked how many of those things you did, and you gave yourself a percentage, and you made a determined, deliberate effort to increase that percentage every day, every week? Wouldn't your life be more productive with a little bit more attention? Intention is everything, but attention keeps you growing. Here's what I'm saying. Intention starts to sell. But unless you attentively put the work into the motion, you're not going to move. Let me think about it. You say, I'm going to get on a canoe and I'm going down there to Acapulco. But then you said, that's where I'm going. You got the map, you put the map, and then everybody get on the boat, and then nobody's rowing the boat. You think you ever going to get there? No. So every single time you get something done on your list, this is you rowing the boat. Now, what happens when you stop? You're just dead in the middle of the ocean. Now, what if you're in the middle of the ocean and you think you're still rowing? You might slowly be drowning and you think you're still rowing. So every time you have to take some time and stop and say, am I rowing the boat? And sometimes in life, we're never rowing the boat. The waves of the ocean is moving us all types of direction, and we think we're going straight ahead, but the truth of the matter is we're drifting to the left and the right. So if you want to stop the process of drifting, you want to have daily check-ins to see how much of the boat you're rowing. What does that mean, Ed? You use all these similes. What's wrong with you, bro? What I mean is, unless you see what you're accomplishing each day, you're not knowing how much strokes you're taking. And then you can't readjust so that way you can go to where you want to go. And then in 5-10 years, you're like, how did I end up here? Wrong question. You should have asked yourself that when you was on the boat. So what I'm telling you right now is you have to check in with your accomplishment. A major way to check in is not just at the end of the week, but every single increment of hours throughout the day. This is strategies from the most successful. What does that mean? What do you mean, Ed? I'm saying you have a T-chart. You put all the things you scheduled for the day, literally in increments of either hours, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however you want to do it. Some people do it in all types of ways. You might even have time blocks where you have 4 hours for this specific, like if you have a job, right? You don't necessarily, if you have a job or something, that could be a time block for the job. And then within the job, you might have specifics if you need to organize yourself. Some jobs you just need to do the task, so there isn't much breaking down. But let's say you also have a job, but you have things you want to put in your routine. So your schedule ain't just what you want to do, but it's how you want to be. So a plan ain't just, I'm planning to do all the things I hate. Nah. What are you talking about? Plans are also for planning to do the things you love. Plan is also for planning to do the things like eating. Plan is also doing the things to plan things like exercising. Plan is also to plan something like calling somebody. See how much the quality of your life changed if the goal of improving your relationship with your mother is not just the goal anymore. It is a plan that is a 15-minute call to your mother. Think about how much your life would be more effective with that stroke of action and continuous determination. What do I mean by that? It means this. It means instead of saying, man, I need to become a better son, You say, hey, how do I make sure that I put time on my schedule to see these people that I love? How do I put time in my schedule to call the people that I love? And how do I put time in my schedule to gift those people that I love? That's going to improve your relationship more than you just saying, I want to improve my relationship. This is a goal without any backing up of it. So that's what I mean by setting goals that's not just business oriented, that your typical goals. Your goals have to be much bigger than just getting stuff. It has to be with becoming a type of person that you are proud of, a type of person that you look at and say, look, I look up to you because look at what you do. You are a person that I appreciate for your effort and for your love, for the way you bring yourself out here in this world. So you put things in your schedule like breathing. You put things in your schedule like moving. You put things in your schedule like juicing. You put things in your schedule like reading. And then you look at next to that schedule and say, did I actually do it? So planning and organizing your life ain't just about your business. Planning and organizing your life is about your life. So we have the T chart, right? The T chart says scheduled and actual. We compare that. The comparison of that is going to let us know. Now, I have journals from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago. When I go back and look at them, guess what? Guess what? But when I go back and look at them, what does it do? First, it gives me a little fire that says, bro, you really been on this. So even if I feel shitty about not doing something, it reminded me like, bruh, look how organized and disciplined you've been over the years. But then there's the other part to say, oh, bruh, look at all those things you didn't do. Oh man, you got to work on that. And then sometimes I reveal the old plan that I took from back then and brought it in here. I took the old plan and said, you know what, let me work on that now. Because I had a review, I had an overview of what is going on with my life. Okay, so now let's talk about what I said first. I said first, we must understand that we must understand our purpose before we can even have a vision. And our purpose is fueled by our gifts, and our vision then now is what allows us to carry out the gifts, aligning them with our purpose, so that way we could do what? With our vision, that way we could set goals in order to act on those goals. And then those goals can become plans. And then what you take those plans, you organize those plans, will help you make them into action. So you see how we track them out? So we start with how do you want to create your life on the basis of who you really are. Not how do you want to create your life with what you have now. A lot of people think, yo, how do I create my life with what I have now? No, how do you create your life with what you have in you now and forever, and have always had in you, which is the power of the I am. So don't look at your situation or your circumstance and determine how you're going to create your life. I want you to look at the possibilities. What's available for you as a spirit here in this planet. You have to build up the way that you see yourself, your vision, your self-image. Unless your self-image increases to a point where you really see that you can transform your life, you might have the same exact goals over and over and limit yourself because you don't see it for you. So you have to begin to see it for yourself. If you don't see it for yourself, it's impossible. So unless the insight, man, unless your insight starts to insight, unless you get that insight, you're not going to be able to see what's in you. You're only going to see what's outside of you, and circumstances will break you. But insight is so powerful, the sight inside, that you know that, yo, I see that, but man, I could push through that. Yo, I see that, but it ain't even bothering me. Somebody says like, yo, how long you been doing that? How long you been planting these seeds? How long you been watering your tree? Like, yo, you know what's underneath this ground here? Like, yo, it's like the bamboo tree format. Your insight is knowing that when you go 6 feet deep, 12 feet deep, 424, you know that the length of your roots is so strong that when that right up, you're gonna be like, you already know it. So your insight have to be the insight that you get about your ability as a being have to be the push that keeps you growing every day to take the action steps. So what does that mean? That means you have to put enough time to do internal work. So planning and organizing your life must have a routine in it that is about getting your mentality to a point where you're insightful, so you're not waved and moved by outside circumstances easily. So here's what I mean. Without a vision, man will perish. Without a vision, man will perish. What does it mean? If I'm on the middle of a boat somewhere and I have no vision of where I'm going and I have no faith in my ability to get there, what I will do is I will stop rowing the boat. And the moment you start rowing the boat, the waves can take you in any direction, and you don't know when you're going to end up in shark-infested waters. Well, somebody said, you know what? I've been in the middle of the ocean all day. I feel like I'm about to fall over the boat. Let me tell you something. Even the people who fall over the boat with enough faith, God will send you a fish. Y'all, some people will know what I'm talking about. Some people won't. And I'm telling you, even though something in your life gonna look like it came and swallowed you, the adversity will be your savior. I'm telling you, I know this. The adversity is gonna be your savior, because sometimes by your own lack of vision, by your own lack of work, you fall in the ocean, and you feel like you lost, and you feel like you're about to drown. You feel overwhelmed, and then boom, fish swallows you, and you're like, oh my goodness, more stuff is happening. Why you think that came over to break you? It came to save you. And this is a story in the Word that speak about a man who fell in the middle of the ocean. God rescued him with a fish. Now, what you have to do in a fishy, sticky situation, is you can't smell the BS all around you, smell all the shit. You have to incite and understand, you have a faith that, you know what, I'm here now, but I will get out of this. I will get to the shore of this. I will not get to the bottom of the ocean, but I'm going to get to the shore. I'm going to actually save my life is going to be saved, because I believe. So a way to make sure that while you're in the ocean, while you're moving forward, that you're strong enough, that you have enough energy, is to cultivate your energy daily. If you don't cultivate it daily, you might end up in the ocean of life, and you need those skill sets to survive. And you're swimming. Just keep on swimming, and you're swimming. But you can't swim if you didn't work on your stamina before you got to swimming. All right. You can't swim long if you don't practice the swimming. So what I mean by that is, you have to practice swimming. And this is the daily routines and rituals that builds up your stamina to endure challenges in life. So you have to put things in your routine. Planning and organizing your life also has to do with what you do in the rising, having a plan and organizing the plan so that you can organize your inside, your physiology and your psychology. You have to organize your emotions. You have to plan for your wellness. So this is with a rising routine. Now, what we do to rise is something called rise and prime. Okay? So instead of you just doing this alone and trying to figure it out, I created a program for you where you no longer have to figure out this routine, where you no longer have to figure out the journaling thing by yourself, where you can have an opportunity to be able to, like, yo, let's do this with a tribe, right? Let's every day prime your brain to believe a certain way, to vision a certain thing, and to actually plan and act upon it. And the way we do that is with what? We start with 10 minutes mental health check-in, then we do personal development, mindful movement, and the affirmations at the end. So Rise and Prime is one of the most powerful ways to what? To cultivate yourself, so when you end up in the ocean, if you fall in, you could swim. While you're padding, you could pad. So what you do every day, you do certain things to strengthen yourself so that when challenges come, you don't have to go to the gym and start to get ready for the challenges. Your whole life was a gym. What happens is, for most of us, is we don't try to get better or stronger until the moment that we are 6 feet deep. I'm asking you right now to put in your daily schedule, your daily grind, a way of improving yourself every day, so that way when you need it, you don't even have to go look for it. We go within and it comes out. When you need that fire to push you forward, you did enough motivation work that you are motivated. When you need that energy to keep you going, you did enough laps that you build up your stamina that you could keep going. When you need your body to react to the virus that you got in it, You put enough vegetables in there that your antibodies are automatically coming up and helping you with that. So you do certain things continuously that are not urgent but very important, so that way when the important and urgent things come up, you won't have to go and do those things. So by doing certain things each day to ensure that you are strengthening and fortifying yourself, that you're getting your muscles stronger, you're getting your insides healthier, you're getting your mind clearer, you're getting your vision, you're getting knowledge and insight, what you do is you create you are literally planning and organizing your very being. So planning and organizing your life also has to do with planning and organizing your being. And as you do that, you're going to find that you carry a certain energy that is very creative, and you become more creative and you do more things. So how can you get started with that? Right? How can you get started with Rise and Prime? How can you actually just, you know what? I'll try that out. How can you say, hey, Ed, let me come to Rising Prime and see what it's all about. Because I always wanted a rising routine, but I don't necessarily know how to do it, or I haven't got myself up early enough. Listen, if you haven't gotten yourself up early enough and you want to start waking up early, the Rising Prime is at 7 a.m. What is that going to do for you? Well, the first thing it's going to do for you is it's going to empower you that, I'm going to, I'm going to start waking up early because I have a dedication that I made to this thing. And not only will I be there, there'll be other people there with me, so I won't be alone. So if you want a rising routine where you can literally start transforming the way that you wake up, if you can start planting seeds in your mind that kind of gets you amped up, fired up for your health, if you want to really start living the holistic lifestyle, go to riseandprime.co. Go to riseandprime.co and sign up, right? So every Monday and Friday, you could go to riseandprime.co and sign up for daily rising Zoom call, right? So you're going to get a Zoom link, and you could just click the Zoom link, and once you get the Zoom link, what's going to happen is it's going to allow you to join us at 7 a.m. But if you say, hey, you know what, I kind of want to not only get in on the Zoom, but I want to be there consistently. I want to get the recordings. I want to do the detox. Then what you can do is you can just join the tribe, right? So after you've tapped into Rise and Prime, you can actually join the tribe and make a determined effort that you're going to do this not just on Mondays and Fridays, but you're going to do this consistently throughout the week. Okay, so this is just a way for you to tap in and check out what it's all about and how it can transform your life. So be sure to go to riseandprime.co and start your day with a powerful rising routine. This whole week, what we're talking about is literally the planning and organization of your life. We're going to be talking about the planning and organization. So I'm going to be telling you some strategies on how you can plan wellness. If you plan wellness, you'll be well enough to put that wellness into your activities. Your creativity comes out of clarity, but without the clarity, you don't have too much creativity. So if you plan time to enhance your creativity, to enhance your clarity, you're going to be more creative. So that's what I'm talking about. So what do you need? 15 minutes of checking in with yourself, 15 to 20 minutes of breathing and moving, 15-20 minutes of personal development and affirmations. That's all it is. Just by that alone, you're going to see a dramatic change. And then guess what? We add the Qigong on top of that. What's that? Somebody says, yo, what's the Qigong? Well, Qi is the electromagnetic energy that flows through your body. So as your Qi gets stagnated, unless you do certain things to restore the balance, you're going to get sick over time. So I teach the Qigong in the Rising during Rising Prime to allow you to release the stuck emotional states that's been housing in your muscle tissues, your body, and also your mind. So by joining, you're going to learn body drumming exercises, you're going to learn self-massage techniques, and you're going to learn mindful movement, which is breathing and rotational joint exercises. So guess what? Now is your time to join. Make sure you go to riseandprime.co. And if you know a friend that, they can use this, they can benefit from it, and you know that they want to start to plan and organize their life, and they want to tap into the daily prime so that they can do that, make sure you let them know about it. So with that being said, powerful beings, listen, The quality of your life is going to be on the basis of the quality of what you are going to accept for your life and the routines that you're going to have, whether you plan or organize it or whether you just let it go by the wayside. Okay, so I'm asking you today is, don't drift through your life. Don't drift. Have an intention. Don't just have an intention, but set determined actions. Don't just set those actions, but make them happen. November is the month to act. You have 2 more months, and it's up to you if you're gonna act on your goals and dreams or if you're gonna just react to the disappointments. It's up to you if you're gonna act on a better schedule, not just to accomplish things, but a better schedule to build a type of person, a better schedule to fuel your being, your health, to get you to another level of being. So once you start doing that, your life will evolve, you will improve. You're gonna see different parts of your life just getting better each day in every way. Guess what? But until that happens, the world would forever miss the talents, the gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer, all right? So for those of you who have been tuning in live at 9:30 a.m. on Instagram or YouTube, make sure you like this video, share it, and if you want to watch the replay, go to edtalksdaily.com/videos. And for you watching on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe. What is that going to do? Subscribe, you'll be able to tap into this when it comes out. But if you don't subscribe, you won't even know about it. So go ahead, click the subscribe button and make sure that you like this video and share it to a friend or so. So with that being said, y'all, make sure you subscribe to the podcast as well. Go to edtalksdaily.com and subscribe. And that way you're going to get access to all of these podcasts. And if this empowered you, also leave a review by going to edtalksdaily.com/reviews. So with that being said, peace and love to you. Keep growing, keep improving. Make sure you schedule your life or else you're gonna drift through it. All right? Make sure you schedule your life or else you're gonna drift through it. And guess what? We're not drifters, we're healers. That's right.